Hello, welcome to HITC Sport. Right, me and predictions do not go well. Good Christ, in August, we all know about the Bamford violin. I'm gonna have him for company until death. So right, last season, we all remember, I predicted the Premier League table, got 0 right, predicted the Championship table, got 0 right. So last summer, I was so furious at myself that I said, I think if I got 0 wrong this time out, I would fly to Ireland and jump in a lake. Alright, if by next summer I've got 0 right, I'm gonna be so annoyed. In fact, this is a message to future me. You better have got a few of these right. If not, if it's another 0 out of 20, then I'm gonna fly to County Limerick and jump in a lake. Let me get a few right. Give me 1. That's all I ask for. 1 measly prediction. That's all I need, and it'll be an improvement on last year. Good Christ. Right, let's go. 20th, West Brom. Right now you have a squad filled with lower league sludge. Slaven Bilic will either walk or be sacked by Christmas, and replacing him with someone like Chris Hughton. Good Christ. Okay, bad start, but this isn't a horrible prediction. This isn't revolting. It's not something to throw back your head and laugh. You shouldn't be threatening to chuck popcorn at me in the street over this. No, West Brom, they didn't finish bottom like I said, but 19th in the league isn't much better. And Slaven Bilic gone by Christmas? Yeah, I predicted that. It was just Big Sam Allardyce who replaced him instead of Chris Hughton. I mean, Big Sam clearly didn't want to be there. Look at him, he looks like he'd rather spend the last few months eating tubs of butter on the couch. Anyway, thanks Sheffield United for keeping the baggies off the bottom. You've just spoiled a perfectly good prediction. I won't forget this. Anyway lads, try and happily subscribers as soon as possible. If you're not subscribed already, what are you doing? What are you doing? You watching James Lawrence? Okay, is that what you're doing, eh? No, come on. Smash that big fat red button. Anyway, let's get back into the video. Let's go. 19th, Aston Villa. Don't get me wrong, if Villa had a Premier League proven coach, even with someone like Sam Allardyce, then yes, they would stay up. But Dean Smith, if Villa are not relegated, I will hand on heart turn HITC Sports into a Jack Grealish tribute channel for a goddamn week. And trust me, I'd rather make love to a lawnmower. Okay, this surely has to be one of the worst predictions I've ever done. I genuinely thought Aston Villa were going to wind up as the next QPR. Just an expensive mess drowning in relegation, with Dean Smith expelled from all sport by Halloween, comfortably stayed up, and Jack Grealish Appreciation Week coming tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely horrible. 18th, Fulham. Scott Parker hasn't even blown out the candles on his 40th birthday cake. In managerial terms, he's a goddamn child. So what do you think Pep and Klopp are going to do with him? And this is still primarily the same squad which went down 2 years ago. So I'm sorry, 18th in the league, being used as the division spunk sock. Yes! Get in. I'm sorry, Fulham fans. I don't want to bask in your misery, but last season I got 0 out of 46 goddamn predictions right. Now we're already 3 places in, and I've got 1. Get in. No jumping in lakes for me. Not only did Fulham prove me right here, they have spent 28 weeks of the season in 18th place. They haven't moved 1 inch in the table since November. That entire club have essentially been stuck in a coma. I couldn't have called this one any better. So Scott Parker, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for showing the tactical naivety of a 9-year-old altar boy. Alexander Mitrovic, thank you for largely resembling a static postbox this season. And to the Fulham defenders, thank you for showing the defensive nous of a plate of expired marmalade. Thank you. 17th, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are in a relegation scrap. They just are. Wilfred Zaha is leaving this club. And I'm sorry, laying out chances for Christian Benteke, it's like laying on a 5-course dinner for a bastard anorexic. They're not gonna eat the thing. You can almost smell the sacking of Roy Hodgson for replacing him with a clearly still traumatized Eddie Howe. Okay lads, I'm sorry. I know he wasn't sacked, but if Eddie Howe winds up as Crystal Palace manager this summer, then I'm taking this one as a massive win. Especially considering last year, I predicted exactly what month he would leave Bournemouth in. So if this happens, I might as well predict when he's going to get divorced, because the life of Eddie Howe is the only thing I'm able to predict right. And with a strike force less threatening than a box of stale Jaffa cakes, Palace are 100% in a relegation scrap, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went down. Nah, the reality is that Crystal Palace didn't spend a single week inside the relegation zone. Just a comfortable, steady season. Nah, the reality is that Crystal Palace spent as about as much time in the relegation zone this season as I did between the legs of a farmyard pig. I'm saying I didn't do that, alright? I didn't. Just clarifying that. It was just a comfortable, steady season. But I got 14th in the league. Next, 16th, Brighton. Okay, Brighton fans might be disappointed that I'm only predicting them for 16th. This is going to be a long and hard season for Brighton. So honestly, lads, don't be ungrateful when I say 16th. Yes! Get in a correct prediction. Oh lads, I'm enjoying this one. Listen, I know I spend most weeks calling Graham Potter a footballing hipster who probably tossed himself off the photos of Roberto De Zerbi in the bath, but I predicted 16th in the league, and you haven't disappointed. 16th. Exactly, yes, a big fat correct prediction. Moving on. 15th West Ham. Listen, Moyes is not recovering from this impossibly difficult start. Start clearing out your desk, because I'm sorry. Arsenal, Wolves, Leicester, Tottenham, Man City and Liverpool. Coming through that fixture list with your job still intact is about as likely as walking through a beach of megaluff without contracting a yeast infection. This is awkward. Honestly lads, West Ham will be bottom of the league in November. Trust me, timestamp this, remember this one. Because if they're not, I will gladly rub a bowl of soggy Weetabix all over my face. Yeah, that was fun. Moyes will be replaced by Rafa Benitez, considering the West Ham owner's borderline obsession with that man. So yeah, they'll stay up. 15th was my prediction. Lads, West Ham spent the season in a Champions League race. I predicted that they'd currently be a bottom half sludge under Rafa Benitez right now. No, that guy, yeah, he since quit the Chinese wasteland, only to now get linked with Wolves. So let me sum this up. I said David Moyes would be sacked by Halloween and that Jesse Lingard would be a flop. I don't do West Ham very good. 14th Leeds. Right, okay Leeds fans, let's make a deal. If you end up finishing inside the top half of the table this season, then I promise I will personally get a tattoo of Patrick Bamford playing the violin. Cause I know, alright, Marcelo Bielsa is a great coach. Hasn't really won much, but no, he's a good coach. And I know you're a big club, but I'm sorry. Stuart Dallas, Jack Harrison, Paddy Bamford, your squad screams championship standard. Championship standard. Lads, Dallas, Harrison and Bamford now have a combined 32 goals and 18 assists in the Premier League this season. Those three championship players have directly contributed to 50 goddamn goals in the division this season. 50! That is 20% of all Premier League goals scored, coming from a trio of supposedly championship standard footballers. What was I doing last summer? Shoving cat fur in my ears? But to be fair, the way Leeds fans reacted last summer, I wasn't exactly tipping you for relegation. 14th would have been a good acceptable season for Leeds United. But no, and now I'm getting a Bamford tattoo in August. Oh, it's going to be the worst day of my life. I'm glad you're back, really I am, and I think you'll have a very good season. But please, you're not getting top half. Oh, well, this is awkward.
13th, Sheffield United.
13th in the league. Lads, I was 7 places off with this one. I should have seen second season syndrome would have swallowed Sheffield United whole. But I think we all might have overestimated the management ability of Chris Wilder in the top flight. Listen, he's a brilliant lower league gaffer, but I think we all were duped into thinking he was the next Sean Dyche. Nah, if he's not careful, the guy's gonna wind up being the next Paul Jewell. So I look forward to the media soon publishing photos of his knob. 12th Burnley. Last season's 10th was a great finish, but they'll probably lose Dwight McNeil, if not now, then in January. So yeah, slight step backwards into 12th. 11th, Newcastle. I'll go for a painfully boring 11th. And the tragic thing is, that would still be the club's 4th highest position under Ashley in his 14 years of control. God, how depressing is that? Again, I overestimated Steve Bruce with this one. Right now, Newcastle fans would probably rather sacrifice their firstborn to get a sniff of 11th. 10th, Southampton. I'm gonna put it out there. Southampton's recovery last year was the greatest turnaround in Premier League history. So yeah, their confidence must be sky high. They'll continue this form into next season. Yeah, let's say halfway up the league in 10th. Of all the teams in the league to have changed my opinion the most since last summer, Southampton are very near the top. Last year, I thought Rafa Hasenhüttl was a minor miracle worker, and that they were now one of the most informed teams and dangerous teams in the league. Well, it looks like that's all now being flushed down a very public toilet. Another 9-0, 6 defeats in a row, with Hasenhüttl constantly looking like he's on the verge of a midlife crisis. I wouldn't be surprised if he's recently caught his wife in bed with his brother, cause come on, look at the state of him. If I were a Southampton fan, there'd be times this season where I'd rather Ralph Wiggum be in the dugout than him. I said 10th, no, they've slumped into 15th. 9th, Leicester. Yep, massive step backwards for Leicester City. European football will stretch this squad. Your main source of goals is turning 34, and Brendan Rodgers has shown no sign that he's able to correct this run of form. It reminds me when Tottenham's league form slid off the map in early 2019. 6 months later, after carried into the following season, Mauricio Pochettino was out the door. So watch this space with Leicester and Brendan Rodgers. Now, listen, Leicester bottle the top 4 again, yes. But to be fair, following up 5th in the league with another 5th in the league, I thought Rodgers and Leicester would implode. No. To be fair, they've been mostly great again this season, chucking an FA Cup title win. They're back in Europe again. I'm sorry, Foxes. I actually thought you finished 9th. Put some respect on Brendan Rodgers' name. 8th, Everton. Listen, their owner might be filthy rich, but their squad is jam-packed with expensive flops. While Ancelotti is a great coach, this is going to be a frustrating season. I was so close to Everton finishing 8th. Make no mistake about it, Everton have caught up Ancelotti in charge, and they finished 10th in the league. This has been an underwhelmingly rotten season, with their form of Goodison Park mostly being an expired bowl of ready wreck. But yeah, I said 8th, so clearly another wrong prediction. 7th Wolves. It's mental to think that Wolves only got promoted 2 years ago, and now anything outside the top 7 is deemed a disappointment. But lads, I think they're about to make it a hat-trick of consecutive 3rd, 7th place finishes in the Premier League. Okay, in my defense, this was before Wolves cashed in on Diogo Jota. This was before Raul Jimenez had his skull crushed like a peanut. To be fair, this season has been a massive implosion for Wolves. Everything that could have gone wrong did, culminating in them losing their most promising manager in decades. I said 7th, no. Look at where they actually finished up. 6th, Arsenal. Yes, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is utterly world class, but are we forgetting your defense is made of cottage pie? Yes, Gabriel Magalhaes could be a good defensive reinforcement. He could also be like the other Gabriel they had. And putting that man in your defense is like accepting a sleepover invitation from my goddamn uncle. I.e., there's probably not going to be any clean sheets. Yeah, the ironic thing is that Gabriel Magalhaes, a guy who I thought would trip over his ankles every 7 minutes, a guy who looked like football's answer to scrambled egg, this guy actually had a better season than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who for large parts of the season, I built him up as world class. No, he's mostly been about as threatening on the left wing as Solomon Kalou, and he was about as dangerous as a piss-stained lunchbox. The only noticeable thing he did this season was copy the hairstyle of Jar Jar Binks. Arsenal fans, you were probably aghast when I said you finished 6th, right?
How dare you, Irish guy! Don't ever step foot in North London, or we'll cut off your eyebrows with a knife and a fork.
Well, how does 8th in the league sound? Probably sounds like you've just been diagnosed with bowel cramps. And the fact your season ended after European humiliation against Unai Emery. Again, that night was probably about as traumatic as squeezing a baby cat out of your knob. Horrific season. 5th, Tottenham. Lads, I'd rate Jose Mourinho. Factor in the fact that it's a better squad he had at Old Trafford, then trust me lads, this season he's gonna go close for top 4. It'll probably just come down to a couple of points. A couple of points. No, I said Jose Mourinho was too good for Tottenham, and I do stand by that. But clearly he just encountered a bunch of fair weather footballers who would probably burst into tears if you shouted at them. Anyway, 5th in the league isn't unusual for Spurs. It wasn't like I was predicting Harry Kane to grow a scrotum out of his ear. No, they finished 5th in the Premier League 5 times in 15 years. I felt dirty for backing against Mourinho last summer, but if you told me that by May they'd be halfway down the league with a baby-faced Ryan Mason as the boss, I would tell you, don't be ridiculous. Daniel Levy is a shrewd businessman, not somebody who starved of oxygen in the womb, tossing out Mourinho before a cup final to give the reins to a borderline child with 7 plates in his skull. What another mess Tottenham are in right now. 4th, Man United. Okay, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done better than I thought. This time last year, I was convinced he was going to be sacked by Christmas. He hasn't, and I instead rang in the new year stinking of a cow's left tit. Since that calcium-soaked bath, United have been on fire. They haven't lost a league game since January. Since bringing in Odion Ighalo, a guy who looks like he's won a competition, they haven't lost a Premier League match. This is just mental. And to be fair, they were 15th in the league in November. It was almost relegation scrap, so to now be a comfortable 2nd in the league, and with the European final in the bank, it's not been a bad season at all. I thought Solskjaer was just about squeaking over the line into 4th. Not a comfortable as balls 2nd in the Premier League. But again, another wrong prediction. 3rd, Chelsea. This is what happens when you cancel Chelsea's credit card for 2 transfer windows. Having been used to getting what they want when they want for nearly 20 years, suddenly be forced to rely on freebies and youth. Oh, it was not a comfortable experience. And this is a club where neither Kevin De Bruyne or Mo Salah got a look in. So the likes of Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham will usually have spent about 5 or 6 years out on loan, but now once again they're the biggest movers in the transfer market. Best of the rest. I was so close, so very damn close. If Chelsea hadn't slipped up at Villa Park on the last day, oh then yes, they'd be sitting 3rd and I would look like a genius. But no, you have to show the resolve of a melted pancake. Thanks lads, another wrong prediction. 2nd, Liverpool. Okay lads, this is a toss-up. Though there's no real reason for this. I suppose Liverpool have been sloppy for months, and it looks like that carried into the Community Shield. If they start sluggishly, they'll hand the initiative to the City. But lads, this is a toss-up. Okay, last summer the internet was flooded with these sort of Premier League prediction tables. Like every summer, and I guarantee not a single soul on planet Earth predicted Liverpool to finish outside the top 2. I said Liverpool finished 2nd, but to be fair, I didn't expect their entire squad to be struck down by the bubonic plague. 2nd in the league. Another wrong one. 1st, Man City. Alright, if by next summer I've got 0 right, I'm gonna be so annoyed. In fact, this is a message to future me. You better have got a few of these right. If not, if it's another 0 out of 20, then I'm gonna fly to County Limerick and jump in a lake. Well, look at that. No, it wasn't a pristine, unstoppable Man City this season. Yes, they had their slip-ups. They began and ended the season sloppily. But that run of form between December and March, that 28-game winning streak, utterly world class. So look at that lads, 3 correct predictions. This is a turning point. Next season, I'm not happy with this. I'm coming for at least 50%. No, next season, I'm coming to predict them all right. I know I failed with the Patrick Bamford tattoo, but I don't care. This is a turning point. This might not seem like a lot, but to me, this is my redemption. Get in. Oh, lads. Okay, let me know. What did you get? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.